today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Knight number 8, Commissioner Gordon. This comes to us from Series 2 of the new Arkham Knight action figures. Spot's pretty much had a look at most of them. The only one I hadn't had a look at yet was Commissioner Gordon. The side of the package features a wire frame there of Commissioner Gordon, and on the back, actually that's not 100% correct. Spot has not yet looked at Nightwing, but we've already had a look at Catwoman and Robin. This is sculpted by the folks over also at Gentle Giant Studios. This is Series 2. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, however, we're going to get a better look at Commissioner Gordon. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Let's have a good look at Commissioner Gordon now that we've got him out of packaging. He's okay. He's not a bad figure. He has a few hiccups here and there, yes, we'll talk about that in a second. But for the most part, the figure isn't bad. I find the one problem with it, though, is maybe what I had the issue same with Robin. The figure, I think, looks like the source material. I'm just not really crazy, to be honest, about the design of him. As for outfits, he just has a shirt, like a short sleeve or rolled up dress shirt, complete with his tie, which is a loose piece. It's very small, very thin, very spindly. I would say do be careful that you don't actually rip this off, because it's holding on. Obviously, it's attached to the top where his neck is, but there's not much holding that tie in place. So be a little careful. I guess what you could also try to do is that this section here that straps his holster in place, you could try to tuck the tie underneath that, but it might look a little awkward having the strap over top of the tie, but there's an option there if you so wish. The face, well, let's bring the camera in and have a better look at Commissioner Gordon's face. I don't think it really looks like Commissioner Gordon. Now again, I'm not knocking necessarily DC Collectibles. I'm knocking kind of the source material. There's certain characters, of course, when you look at them, you kind of know, well, that's not quite how I imagine him to look. And I guess that's the kind of the same thing that goes with Commissioner Gordon here. I'm not crazy about the design of this Commissioner. It's not bad, but it's kind of like Robin for me. Not necessarily anything wrong with the figure, just not really crazy about the design. He does have glasses that aren't removable, so I wouldn't actually try to gamble taking those off, but at least he's sculpted behind the glasses, and the glasses, the plastic itself used for the lenses, at least you can see through and you can see his eyes. There's not really much to be said for him. Like, sculpt-wise, not bad. Well, one thing I have problems with, again, I'll talk about that in a second. But you know what, before we do that, let's look at some of the accessories that also come with him. He comes with a pistol, which is a little small handgun, which, yes, you would be correct. You can take the pistol and just fit it into the side holster. That's if you aren't planning on using it for anything. He's got a couple of magazine clips, but those are sculpted. You can't take those off. He also comes with a walkie-talkie, which doesn't really have any place on him that can hold the walkie-talkie, not that I can see. So you can either have it in his hand, or, well, you can leave it off. Gordon also comes with an open palm, which for some strange reason looks really unnatural. I guess the coloring that they ended up going with for the plastic. It's kind of really another issue that played with Catwoman. Catwoman was a gorgeous sculpted figure, but the skin was so pale. Also with Commissioner Gordon too. Really, really pale skin. Especially when you start looking at his very skinny arms, and he's got this, the flesh color is not the predominant color. It's like the light whiter plastic is, and then they've sprayed over it with the flesh color. It ends up making his skin look really unhealthy. Okay, so let's talk about the one thing that I'm not crazy about this particular figure. We can talk designs, we can talk, the way that the figure was originally based from the source material. But at the end of the day, how is the figure? I have one problem when it comes to his shoulders. you can probably see maybe right away what I'm talking about. The shoulders don't go down all the way. Some of the culprit could be because he's got the holster on him, that you can't close his arms completely down. And he's also got the way that they sculpted his shoulder torso area. It kind of, well, you can't do anything more with his arms. I'm not really sure what you could have done differently. I mean, they could have broadened the shoulders a little bit so that the arms could actually have sat straight down. But ultimately, the arms are always going to stick out this way. You could take the arms and rotate them so that the hinges are facing inward, and you can compensate it by moving the arms slightly in. But it doesn't look natural. Even if you straighten out the hands the other way, it doesn't really look right. So unfortunately, you kind of have to put them in the form that's most natural, and ultimately just means that Commissioner Gordon's arms are always going to be kind of sticking straight out. When it comes to his posability, however, Commissioner Gordon does have a very easy to very flexible, very easy to move ball joint in the head. He's got the hinged shoulders, no issues there. And like even when you have the arms out, not that you're going to have his arms out, but it doesn't look so bad. It's when you lower them that you can't do anything else with that. The arms do rotate. He does have a hinge in the elbow, which also allows the forearm to rotate left and right. He also has a rotational point in the hand, which also hinges at the wrist. Spot's been playing around with this figure for a little bit, and again, I can't get the hands in the arms, I should say. I can't get them in any natural position where it looks right. As for his waist, well, his upper torso is on a ball joint, but then he's got a secondary hinge on the rotational on the waist, but it's really stiff. It does look like it should hinge, and I just can't rotate it. It might actually just be an upper torso ball joint. Legs finally are on a pin joint or ball joint, and they rotate very easily, no issues there whatsoever. A top swivel cut in the thigh, double hinge knees, and a hinge foot. If I could be completely frank, yes, you can call me Frank, the figure is good, but I'm not crazy about the design, which is kind of, again, something with Robin. The figure is not bad. I don't really like the source material. I wish you could do something a little bit more with the arms. To be honest, it's not a super exciting figure. And with the Arkham City figures, again, being frank for a second, I feel like the only real winning figure in this line so far has been Catwoman. The Robin hasn't been bad, but Commissioner Gordon really just doesn't bring a lot to the table unless you really want a Commissioner Gordon from Arkham City. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the DC Collectibles Arkham City Series 2 Commissioner Gordon. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. Thanks for watching, as you always do. See you next time.